Today we're going to carry on modelling this Glock, and we're going to start work on the slide. Gonna see how we go, really. So I'm going to start off by creating a plane for the side of the slide here. I'll put the length and width segments down to 1, and I'm going to put on my material. I pressed M to get the material editor up there. I'm going to right click and convert to editable poly, and then just going to start moving my verts about, really. First of all, I just want to create this big main flat section here. And what I'm going to do is take the position, it looks slightly off here. I'm going to take the Z position, that vert. I'm just going to make sure it's the same all the way along. There you go. And I also want to transfer that Z coordinate to these verts along here on our slide, so that they match up perfectly. Just wondering if it might be an idea to have it a slight gap there. Yeah. Okay, and then I'm going to take the coordinates and a quick look at my reference. Okay, I'm going to take the coordinates of this flat section here. That's going to be the X coordinates, and I'm going to transfer that to here. Like so. Alright, next thing we're going to model is a bit of linearity bits, and by the looks of it there are just 2. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yikes. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make 1. Oh, crap. So select this edge here, hold down Shift, pull that out, bring it along, back out again. I'm going to take the X position from this big flat plane here, which you already have. Just copy that on. And lastly, I'm just going to move these about a touch just to get them positioned correctly. In fact, I actually want to pull that out as well, like so. What I'm then going to do is select these polygons. I'm going to detach them. This means that when I go to copy them, I'm going to put the pivot point to the centre. It'll give me a little option as to how many times I copy it, so I don't have to do it over and over again. The only problem is with this is you end up with quite a bit of clearing up afterwards. So I put 7 in there for now. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I want to get rid of that one. Now I'm just going to select the first one and just select the attach tool and attach them all into one mesh. Then I'm going to select my vertices, Control A to select all, and then I'm going to hit the world tool, which should hopefully fix any holes that there might be in the mesh. There we go. And I think they're probably going in a little bit too much, so I'm just going to select all of these and bring them out a touch. Last of all, I need to touch the main part of the slide back on. So it's going to attach. The same again with the selecting the verts and welding. There we go. Right, the next thing we want to do is create the curve along the top, just here. So what I'm going to do is select all the bits sticking out, not the bits that are sticking in these little grippy sections. I'm going to hold down Shift, put it out once, put it out twice, and then pull this in. And also I'm just going to select all of those verts and put them down the seam, which is on 0. Just need to do a touch of tweaking. Actually no, I think that's okay. So what we want to do is we want this line of edges to have the same x coordinates as these along here, and then we're just going to create polygons to fill in the gaps. So I'm going to start off by just selecting our polygon, taking the coordinate, and we have to use the verts rather than the edges, which is always a bit of a pain. Select those and put them to I'm just going to do this in the front viewport. My mouse is covered in crap. In fact, sorry, I've done that slightly wrong. I want this to come in and I want this to have that x coordinate, maybe. Shut it. That will do. My reference again. Yes. This line of edges here wants that x coordinate, and this one wants to come in. There we go. Ooh. What I'm going to do is just use my create polygon tool. I'm going to just create these polygons here just to fill in the gap. So I'm just really going to use this create polygon tool now just to fill in all these big holes that I've ended up with on the mesh. I should clearly plan these tutorials before I do them. Too lazy for that. And then we're going to want to bring no, I think we just want to carry on with the old create tool. Polygon, create. I'm just going to create the edges in here. Crap. Oh, and that one. So that is going to create that curve along the top here. Finish off this little indent, and then smoothly goes into the curve along the top. So, all this could have probably done this whole thing that I'm doing on just the one and then copied it across. But hey, I didn't plan it. And I didn't explain that very well. I'm thinking I could have created this whole section of geometry rather than just that one little indent and then copied it across 7 times. It would have saved me a load of time. But I didn't think. And now you can sit and watch me create polygons for 10 minutes. Shouldn't take too long. Three more to do. I'm being a doubly noob. I can use the bridge tool for this. Edge, bridge, click. I've had an annoying day, but I can't be bothered to go into it. And then just bridge these holes at the top as well. We'll go through and optimise all of this in a little while, because it's absolutely chocked full of unwanted polygons. So there's the little grip section. Just going to finish off at the back here. By holding, selecting those edges, pulling them out. Select these edges here and pull those out again. Just these ones on the edge, and I want that little this curve to follow round across the back of the gum. So I've just pulled the curvy section out, or the bit that I'm. Oh God, I can't speak today. I've just selected these edges down the side of the slide. I'm just going to shift and bring those in. I'm going to start off just by target welding this vert to this vert, and then so I'm just going to go through all these ones, verts down the edge, and just put them to 0 across the seam. And last of all, I'm just going to sort out the corner and make sure it curves round correctly. So I'm going to drag those in. Just going to select the verts here as well. Pull those in a wee bit. Just got to do a little bit of tweaking. Looks like this little section isn't 100% straight, so I'm just going to take our X coordinate, just going to transfer it all the way along these edges. Don't know what's happened there. It's a bit of a pain, that's for sure. don't know when that's happened. But they're very much a pain. Oh, we've got selected. Okay, that should be okay. There's also a slight curve at the front of the gun, so it's going to do the same what I did at the back there. So I'm going to select these edges on the outside, pull those forward, target weld that at the back, drag this in, target weld the vert on the top, and then just put the remaining verts along the seam. And last of all, it's just a matter of putting your knees in. This one on the bottom there. Alright, just want to have a quick fiddle with the back just to make sure that's alright. I mean, you've got to remember that this is the section that is actually going to be seen by the player, whereas at the front, it's not going to be seen. So taking that into account, it might even be worth adding a little extra geometry on that curve at the back here. So I'm going to pull this. So I've got 90 degrees down there and down there. Select these edges. And I'm going to slam the connect tool. And with my new verts, I'm just going to pull those out just to improve the curve, make it a little smoother. I'm just going to take the X position from this vert, transfer it. Oh. Oh, that one, sorry, the Y position, my bad. And this one we want the X position, just to make sure it's at proper right angle. I think I've made a small mistake here, so I'm just going to hide that. I've just made this little step area a little too big, so I'm going to delete those polygons there. I'm just going to create some new ones and pull that out. Target weld. I'm going to take the Y position from these. Transfer it over so it's nice and square, and lastly just going to go in again and target weld. Sorry, not target weld, I'm just going to create a polygon. Bam. And then I'm also going to target weld. There you go. Right, so what we want to do is we want to just sort out this little area on the back of the back of the grip, so you've got it sort of going. So all I'm going to do is insert vert. Oh, sorry, I selected the wrong. Cancel. And just insert a few verts along this edge here. Put that up like so. So yeah, transferring the X position from this vert to this vert, Y position from this vert to this vert, which should be fine. Let's insert another vertex. I'll pull these two down like so, and again on the X position from here over to here. And now we have the little up and downy section. I'm just going to unhide all. Oh. I think I'm going to have to a bit of a fiddle with this because it looks quite wrong. I think the bit I deleted before I actually want. So I'm just going to recreate that again. Pain. So I want X position from here. Just to come down. Z position from here. Just want to weld those two verts and then use the create polygon tool to fill in some holes. Still looks like there's a slight hole there. Let's have a look. Yeah. What's going on there then? Okay. Just want to delete that little edge. Oh, there's not one in there. Okay, yeah, I just need to target weld. That's from where I've dragged out the geometry from this section rather than, or that edge rather than that edge. So I just need to target weld that up. I should fix that. Cool. What I think I'm going to do is cheat a little bit. I'm going to bring out this back section a little too far. I'm going to cover up that geometry there, which is coming too far across. And it then just means that you can't see it. And it means I can weird gun, big hole in the back of the bloody thing. Okay, pull that up. Down a little bit. Yeah, I think that will do. I'm just going to pull these in to add as well. It doesn't matter if the geometry goes through each other. I mean, sense. I mean, yeah, it is wrong, but as I keep saying, if you're not going to see it, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to go through and select all these unwanted edges and just hit backspace, which removes them. And then I'm going to go through and remove the verts at the back here as well by selecting them and doing backspace. If you just remove the verts without removing the edges first, it can sort of go a little bit crazy. And by a little bit, I mean a lot crazy. Right, I'm going to do this little section here now. Annoyingly, my reference isn't incredible, but what you're going to do, this is where your sort of artistic license comes in, because I don't know exactly where that goes on this gun. I'm just centering my pivot and putting it along the seam so I can put a symmetry modifier on. So. I think it might be looking a little too thin. I'll sort that out in a while. Okay, so I would say it starts on about the 5th in section. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it starts about I'm going to press 2 to select my edges, and edges, set vert, there we go. Okay, so it's probably going to start about here and end about there, and then I'm going to create another 2 verts. Drag them out, and I'm also going to take the Y position from here, transfer it to here, and the same in the top up there. So you've got a little sort of indented square. This is a little section that you probably do quite a few polys because it's going to be seen quite a fair bit by the player. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to select both of them and just chamfer them, like so. Then I'm going to chamfer it again, and that's created the curve. Chamfer just multiplies your edges, I guess, so it doubles them up. See, it's quite good for creating curved sections, but I generally prefer to do it manually. And last of all, I'm just going to create these, select all these edges, hold down shift to pull them down, and last but not least, I just want to fill in this hole. To say, there's a few ways you can do it, but I'm just going to use the create polygon tool. Looks pretty good. Right, the stuff that you want to work on first is always the stuff which is going to be symmetrical. And then, I mean to say, this shell release, I don't know what it's called, but where you get your shell casing flying out, that's going to be different on both sides. Yeah, this whole section that would be down here you're not actually going to see, so we're going to concentrate on that bit, and it will just fall off on the side there. it will just end. I mean, say I think I'm going to delete this whole side of the gun at some point once I finish modelling it. Yeah, let's carry on modelling. Pull this out a touch more. It seems to go quite close to the edge. I'm just going to go on my top viewport. Once they've been pulled out, I'm just going to go in and edit the edges. I'm going to select those two at the bottom and two at the top, and notice that I'm dragging to select to make sure I select the one underneath. If I just click, it's only going to select one of the two, and there's two perfectly aligned on top of each other. I'm going to pull those two out, these two, and then these two. I believe there's a similar section on the front, so I'm going to create that as well, and in exactly the same method. So I'm going to select edge, insert vertice, 1, 2. Alright, I've inserted 5 there, I think. I'm going to bring these two out. This one out. Right, I want these two here to have the same X coordinate. I want this one's Y coordinate to be the same as this one. And same with the back. So Y, Y. And I also want this vertex here to have the same X coordinate as this vertex. And that's sort of the foundation of what we're going to create. Just going to have a quick peep to see where it actually got to go. I think it's got to go a bit further forward than that. Drag that forward. Take the Y coordinate from here as well. Spam it to there. And just have a good fiddle about. Yikes. Did that a little bit wrong. Okay, just pull these two in. Let me get this better. I'd say that goes right up to the edge. Up to about there. Right, so again, it's time to start adding the curves. So I'm not actually going to add so many polygons this time. I think I'll just chamfer once. As you can see, there's a few triangles which go in the wrong places, and they're overhanging here and here. So we're just going to have to go to edge, edit triangle, and just sort of filter those out. Like so. Oh, there's another one. A triangle. Right, what you notice is that there's a slight inwards curve and then it goes straight down. So I'm going to select all the edges, the outline of our shape. I'm going to hold down shift and bring it down. And I'm going to select the scale tool and just scale it in the touch. I think really the best thing I'm going to have to do is actually go in and change it manually from my top viewport. I need that along the seam, and the same with this one. And it's just going to be a matter of going in. Try and make it as even as possible. As I say, with very little reference on a section like this, especially because I was a bit lazy trying to find pictures and only got a handful. But I think this one will likely do. There we go. And then we're lastly just going to pull them down, straight down, dush. Is that little section created as well? Might actually just bring this edge of verts down, or slight edge down as well. There we go, a little bit better. To say the front here is another one of those little sections which I wouldn't really bother modelling normally, but I will do, just to make other people happy. So yeah, it's just a matter of holding down shift and dragging your sections out, and then just lining it up. But to say, hopefully when I get to optimising, all of that section is going to be shot of anyway.